Give it up for the second round of speakers, starting with Peter Corbett.
Break the rules a little bit over here. Hey, stand in one place. A walker. Some of those you guys pace when you're on the phone. Let's see. All right. Hi, I'm Peter Corbett. I think you guys are either going to love me or hate me for this presentation. I'm definitely willing to roll the dice. Nobody cares about your crappy web app, so I hope this is going to inspire a lot of people. Some of you might have seen this graphic, which now actually we have bad contrast. Got a lot of X's over a lot of these, Web 2.0 technologies. I'm Corbett 3000 on Twitter, by the way, if you want to hate on me or love on me or something like that. I want to talk about, why no one cares about your crappy web app and what you should do. But first of all, some of the things that your crappy web app does, I think is important to look at. Your crappy web app aggregates aggregated aggregators. There are a lot of people kind of aggregating aggregations over and over again. It syndicates syndicated syndications. It tweets Twitter to Twitter. It's kind of ridiculous. Basically nothing important. Something your crappy web app doesn't do. It doesn't save starving babies. If someone has a web app that does, I'd really love to hear about it. It doesn't keep God from killing kittens or doing the same thing at the same time. It certainly doesn't provide peace in the Middle East. Well, Twitter's sort of been doing that lately. I'm not a hater, at all. I'm totally a lover, and this conversation is really about saving the planet. I think if we don't have our talented engineers and technologists focus on saving the world, we're basically fucked. So hopefully we'll start to think a little bit more about that. So these are your current users. You're currently going after the hipster crowd. They've got money for fixed-gear bicycles. They've got flannel shirts. They've got some kind of modded out like stereo thing and some nice big horn glasses. And this is actually in German, so I got that little European feel. So it's perfect. You're also going after web celebrities. You want Pete Cashmore, Maxwell. Who's a nice guy to write about you, though. You might want the Geico caveman to come and talk about what you guys are doing. He's actually more of a real celebrity, I think. Or a made-up one or a commercial one. I'm not really quite sure. But you actually do have real celebrities now that you're trying to cater to. I'm not talking just about Twitter necessarily, but you've got the Ashton Kutchers of the world. We're in tipping points all over the place with Web 2.0 technologies and all the late adopters getting on board with every given crazy thing that we want to do. And then you've really got the alpha geeks. And you're an alpha geek when you do a bar camp, you've got a Lotus branded with one. I don't know what these guys are thinking about in Austin, but in DC, when we do bar camp, we don't have Lotuses rolling around the streets. So what I'm trying to say is this user base is well overserved. They're taken care of, especially the World of Warcraft players, because you're thinking about creating some kind of crazy virtual gold distribution business where you're mining Chinese talent to build up capes and bullshit. It's bullshit. That's all it is. Bullshit. No more WoW fanboys. None of that stuff. Again, not a hater. Total lover. I want to talk about the +1 category for lovers. All right. So we're going to get into how to put a +1 there. We give the haters 0. Give the lovers 1. How do we do that? We need to focus. We've got to focus on new users, right? You got to think about the freedom fighters. How do you serve the freedom fighters? Not the hipsters, not the web celebrities, not the WoW fanboys. How do you serve the freedom fighters? Because if we do, they're going to change the world. You're going to help change the world by helping them change the world. Let's help kids and puppies. Who doesn't love kids and puppies? This is a tired, hungry Brazilian child looking off in the distance with a sad puppy. So how can you help sad, starving puppies and children? I think that's really important. I was in Brazil recently. I was in a favela. Think about the slum dogs. And actually what's kind of amazing, you're walking through a place where you can't even see the sky because everything's so crowded. And they have cyber cafes. So the things that you do here in America with your talent, with your technology chops can affect a slumdog. And old people, you want to talk about a growing market? This market is growing and it will never stop growing. We'll always have more old people. So you don't have to worry about it. You're like, okay, I'm going to build a product for old people. It's like, they're not going to go away anytime soon, right? You might have less hipsters in the future, whatever. So the question is, what I want everyone to think about, if you're an engineer in the room or what have you, what will you build? And when you're thinking about that, you're usually like, I kind of want those WoW players to use my shit. Or I want those web celebrities to use my... No, it's like, what does that freedom fighter need? What does that starving child or puppy need? And what are you waiting for? I talk to a lot of people like, I just need to make a little bit of money first, and I'll actually do the real stuff that's important. It's like, we're running out of time, so don't wait any longer. Do that thing that you really think needs to be done. Focus on social innovation. I mean, we did a lot of research in DC and Alexandria and other places. The greatest need is to bring social entrepreneurs together, so make a network, right? There's probably 50 social entrepreneurs in this room. Bring them together. Shift mob. Think about just doing more stuff quickly for for good people, good organizations. How do you do it? Sleep less. Right? If you're getting 8 hours of sleep, God, that's like twice as much sleep as you need. I'm exhausted personally because I sleep about 4 hours a night. Talk less, help more, do it now. And if you do that, if you follow your passion, right, the money will accumulate. You don't have to worry about that. But what you're going to do is you're going to accumulate so much more social capital over time than you even know what to do with. And it'll be so much more important than any of the money that you ever accumulated. So I want to know who's going to raise their hand to actually do things that matter instead of working on stuff that is just a crappy web app that doesn't do anything worth doing anyway. Thank you. I hope you don't hate me for my presentation. I hope you like it.